Hello, everyone. It's Katrin with Blend Precisely. And today is Wednesday, the 20th of September, and I'm coming live today. Let me just double check quickly. All good. I'm going to put this on silent now. So I'm coming live today. Bing, bang, boom. It's the typical going live announcements everywhere. So I wanted to show you today how we actually enter your raw ingredients and how that. As you know, we have a little bit of a uh, process on how we get your raw ingredients into the database. Let me double check my audio. All good, perfect. Speaker, there it is. So I just wanted to show you how it happens that, especially if you're new, you see around 1,400 raw ingredients right now in Blend Precisely, ready for you to use, and it has all kinds of information. And the way we enter the information for you is that you basically submit our raw ingredient form, and then we go edit and enter the ingredients. And it might be sometimes a little bit because there's a waiting period of 24 to 48 hours. But what we want to achieve with that is that we give you the most accurate information or back-end information as we can. It started way back then. It started with the essential oils. And as we know, with essential oils, there's a lot of safety concerns around it. There are proper Latin names around them. Sometimes they double up. So we didn't want to have the database of Blend Precisely necessarily getting overcrowded with duplications, spelling errors, and all kinds of human errors, that can happen, of course, when everybody starts entering their own raw ingredients. So what we decided was that we enter the raw ingredients for you, and we do a rigorous research project for every raw ingredient, depending what it is. Sometimes it goes faster than other times. But especially around essential oils, we really take great care that we enter the right information, including safety information. And then we, of course, have also our sustainability information around the essential oils. So today, I just wanted to take you through the beginning of when we receive your request over to how we do our research and how we enter actually the raw ingredients. So I'm going to just start sharing my screen, and then I will show you. Okay. All right. So let me add. Oh, that's the wrong one. Just sorry. I'm going to start adding share screen and not the entire screen, but this one. That should work. Let's try that again. I've got a double screen. That's why sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, now it works, I think. All right, so from the moment, let me show you where we receive your raw ingredient request here. We then go, basically, we receive the information. Oh, okay, somebody submitted a raw ingredient request, and then we actually go over to view it. And that would be then, let me go in this one here, for example. So we receive your response, and we immediately take care of it. We go to the individual, and then we go to the raw ingredient response. Then we certainly look first of all, okay, what is the raw ingredients? Because sometimes what happens is that we do get raw ingredients that are already in the system, and maybe the user didn't find it or didn't think we might have it in the system. But since we have already 1,400 raw ingredients in the system, what I would do first is go into Blend Precisely itself and see if I can find butter pearls. And I want to make sure that we can actually, or that we don't duplicate anything. So butter pearls are under thickeners, and then I go down here. This person here mentioned it as well under thickener. So let me go back here And you could also just go by category if you know what it is, and then go to butter pearl. And sometimes it's written a little bit different, so you want to make sure it's in the system by maybe being a little bit flexible with butter, for example, something like this, or then butter pearl. Okay, so I just found it, and it's actually in the system already. So when that happens, I would reply back to you as like, by the way, it's already in the system, sending a screenshot most of the time, and then you can make it your own. And as you know, once it's in the system, you can make it your own. Then I would go over to the second request we have received, and that is for BTMS 50. And I would check this one as well. I would go ahead and say all, and not, I'm going to, I need to clean this one out, this one, and then go to BTMS 50. If I would find it here, BTMS, let's see if it's in here at all. So here, definitely no ingredient found. All right, so what I would do then next is basically go down the list here, and I can see it's an emulsifier, 8 ounces, and then I would actually grab the site you kindly give to me and research this one over here. Okay, so this one is simply ingredients, BTMS 50. I don't think that's the full INCI name, and that's what we are looking for too. That's what we are entering. The INCI name here, as it appears, in my opinion, is not the full one, or it is also not correctly written, because I do not want to see a comma. I want to actually see an end here in parentheses. And let me just go down. Cetearyl alcohol. Okay. So I'm taking you just simply through what I would normally do. It's for hair products, it looks like. Is an emulsion. Okay, it's being used in the oil phase, is a thickener, and then for the color odors, white, fishy, waxy palettes. That's yummy. Okay, so what I would do in this case, I would take the BTMS 50 and do the following. Okay, let me just go in here. So what I would do is I'm going to search for BTMS 50. And what I normally do then is, for the suppliers I know very well, I actually open up several pages to just get the things submitted to me double checked. And I've got my trusted suppliers I know now, since I've been doing it for a while, where I would go and double check everything. So first of all, Brumbleberry, that's not where we got it from, but I would go ahead and check here. I would go ahead and check also the INCI name. Also here the end is missing, so I would not put this one in, but at least they say a third ingredient. And then I would go over to Lotion Crafter. That's a really reliable source. I really, really love Lotion Crafter. And I would use, here we have the INCI name, and that looks like the correct one. So the next one I would go over here, Humblebee and Me. She always has great information as well. I would go to see the INCI name, and then I see as well, okay, this one is very much like what I just saw on Lotion Crafter down here. And then go over to Windy Point. This one is in Canada. And I would look for further information as well. And often they have safety data sheets. So the really good suppliers, they have safety data sheets, and you can go in them and actually double check all the information in terms of safety, but also the proper names. And what I like mostly about those type of sheets, they show me, okay, here we go. Here's the INCI name. So the only thing I'm missing is the end in parentheses, but this is the third one that shows the entire ingredient form. So then what I would be doing is I take the name of the product, and actually I go ahead into our system, and enter it. So let me just show you what I need to enter. So this is part number 1. I'm researching the entire product, and then I would go ahead and go into our system, and fill it all out, right? So if we have, for example, the INCI name now, the lotion crafter, I would go ahead and find all the information and plug it into the system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up File, New Window, and I'm going to do this over here and close this one down and come back for a moment here. Okay. And then I would put in basically the raw ingredients. So I'm not going to get you painfully through this one right now. So I wanted to show you. So I would search the BTMS, then I go into our backend system and enter every single thing I need to enter. Warnings, therapeutic use, especially for essential oils, the categories. As you know, the categories here, we have quite a few categories. So I would put it into the right category. And then any kind of warnings, if there are any. Custom warnings sometimes come up for certain products. Then I would put in all the information in regards to, let me go into the filter. In regards to the advanced filter, we have warnings, therapeutic properties, therapeutic uses, the supplier name, plant parts, plant families, plant notes, and so on. So this is all being entered by us piece by piece by doing research what it is. Now for cosmetic products, it's a little bit different than for maybe the carrier oils, hydrosols, and essential oils as well. So we take really great care when we enter any of the ingredients. Then the next thing what I want or need to do is definitely if there's any derma max percentage for some of the products, then there is also the IFRA list for any kind of allergens. And then we have, of course, the product itself. So that would be part 2, when we enter all of the product information for you. So we're going to go, first of all, where should it sit? Then second of all, we're going to enter the supplier's name. Then we're going to enter the biological. So by the way, the supplier's name is always going to come up and precisely, but then you can add your own supplier. So this one is a field you add for yourself. But as a general rule, we put blend precisely in because we just feel like there are many sources you can get your ingredients from. I sometimes give suggestions, and you have seen them already. These are the suppliers I really treasure a lot in terms of cosmetic ingredients, and there are actually a few more, including this simple. Let me just pull this back up here. The Simply Ingredients people. There, I believe, in LA, and they really have amazing products. What they don't have so much is the accurate way of putting the INCI names or any kind. What I'm missing here is any kind of documentation. So I like to have everything in one place, but I cannot download any Oh no, they do. They added it here. Let me see. They did add it on the bottom. And here you go. Okay, great. So they have the safety. And here you also see the INCI name. And here is an end in parentheses, which they don't have up here. So I don't know why they wouldn't just copy and paste it here, because that makes life much easier. So we really want to go by the accurate names at all times for everything, including the CAS numbers or CAS numbers and so on. So great. So they have that down here. It looks like I'm going to go, because what they do really, really well is they are giving you additional information from melting point over directions for emulsification and the percentage use here. And mostly everybody does that, including Lotion Crafter normally gives you the information as well here under formulation guide, 1 to 10%. In this case, we see that they are a little bit more detailed over here. But if you do cosmetic formulation, you do need to know all of these things. because they play a big role. And here you can see the functioning. So it's for hair conditioning, detangling, and skin conditioning. It's a great skin conditioner. If you use too much of the BTMS 50, it can smell a little bit fishy. But if you use only a little bit, like the percentage they suggest, then it's pretty good. But I think if I were to use it in a 20% conditioning bar, I probably would want to have some good essential oils in there to cover up the smell. All right. And then if there's anything, I go through different INCI names, IFRA statements, allergens. I go for sure through 3, 4, 5 different websites where they offer the product as well. I do comparison a lot, and then I enter all the information for you. And once that's done, so once I entered part 1 and part 2, I basically come back to my emails. And then in this case, I would write Molly back. By the way, the butter pearls are already in the system. And then I would basically go ahead and send the email out once it's in the system. So I put the link in here for our raw ingredient request form. And I want to make sure that everybody knows about it. And then in case it takes a little bit like 24 hours to 48 hours, the reason is it's really depending how much information we get from you. And also, it's super helpful to get the website because that's a starting point for us to find the raw ingredients and to actually work with the raw ingredients. So for us, because we really take all the precautions and accurate care on entering your raw ingredients into the system, we really love to get the the ingredient request form. Let me just show you one more time. This request form accurately filled out. The most important part for us is actually where you get your products from, because we can then go back to them in case something is missing, and we can communicate directly to them and say, oh, by the way, I couldn't find this on your website. Maybe it's a good idea to add the safety data sheets, or to add the GCMS reports, or to see if there are different information between all of these websites, which, by the way, I've seen a ton. I really have to go back all the way to the source. Not everybody lists their ingredients 100% accurately, and you cannot go by this. But strong fishy smell. that's the BTMS 50. But if you're using this one, you will see that you will find your own suppliers that really have great products, and you will go back to them over and over again. But what we do basically here in the back end, when we get your information, we do all the research I just talked about. And that's why it sometimes takes the 24 to 48 hours. Now, if it's of course a huge list of raw ingredients, we also encourage you to send us just a simple spreadsheet listing all your raw ingredients and where you got them from and so on. And then we can enter them for you. So we are trying to make it as simple as possible for you, but still getting enough information so we can actually enter the raw ingredients. So once this one is in, and I'm going to enter the BTMS right now, and probably in 10 minutes, you will be able to find it in the database under thickeners. Let me show you where you will find it probably. You will find it in the database here by simply putting in BTMS, and then it should come up here. So that will take me around, since I did already quite a bit of work around the ingredient, I have all the information. I will now enter it, and it should be in the system in around 10 minutes. So once I have the information, I'm good to go. But we have our backend information. I always need to make sure it also comes back on the other side. So I hope that was a little bit helpful to show you just what kind of process we go through. And thank you for watching. It's important for us that you know what we do. All right. So I will see you back next week on Wednesday, same time and same date of the week, or same day of the week. And if you have any questions in between, send us an email, hello@blendprecisely.io, or just comment below the videos and I will reply there too. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.